giving a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terence Crawford, who had something to say?
Yeah, we ain't worried about what he got to say. He retired. You know, we focus on Terence and taking over this division. We ain't worried about no retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence took it, he's retired. Leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Have fun and enjoy his family.
Boot.
Who that? All of them. I don't care who makes the statement. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you like.
When you saw that he brought in Jaron, what was your reaction? Like your first initial reaction when you saw that news?
I actually didn't see it. Somebody showed me, and I was just like, so what that mean? He's not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities, and you know we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him. So.
You were on the show with Gilly, and he mentioned a bunch of names and just said, you know, are they going to be easy work or not? You said easy work to everybody, including Terence Crawford. You know, obviously he's had comments to Gilly about saying, you know, that he tried to make a fight with you. You were too young at the time. That's what your team said. Do you think any of this talk gets to a point where you get him to come out of retirement and face you?
I ain't care about that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm locked in on Zayas. I'm asking nothing else about nobody else. I'm Zayas.
Jaron boots. Ennis silenced his critics with a 7th-round technical knockout victory over Xander Zayas at Barclays Center in New York on Sunday. Instead of the spotlight shifting toward potential blockbuster fights with Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz Jr., the conversation unexpectedly turned to Terence Crawford, the boxing legend who retired just months ago. The rivalry between the two is well known. Boots had long hoped to face Crawford before his retirement. This time, though, it seemed Crawford was the one trying to steal the attention from the newly crowned unified champion celebration.
Terence Crawford, he was tweeting something after the fight, you know, being coy, like not commenting on it, but seeming to throw his version of some shade. I mean, what's your thoughts on?
I don't care what nobody say, man.
Yeah.
I don't care. That don't bother me. Just like when y'all talk, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what none of y'all say because I speak the truth. You know what I mean? You know, you don't see us cussing and calling people out. Some of they don't know this, they don't know that. We don't do that. You know what I mean? We just come to fight.
Before diving into the Crawford and Boots drama, let's quickly revisit the fight that secured Boots' biggest victory. Entering the bout, the biggest question was whether 23-year-old Xander Zayas could push Boots into deep waters. In the 3rd round, the Puerto Rican star answered with a crushing right hand that stunned the crowd. For a few tense moments, Ennis was clearly hurt, trapped along the ropes, and forced to recover. Fans instantly wondered if the hype was about to collapse. But instead of falling apart, Boots fought through the danger, took control, and eventually dropped the champion 3 times. That dramatic round ignited a huge debate. Did Zayas expose a serious weakness in the new champion, or did Boots prove he is one of the toughest chins in boxing?
Congratulations. What was going through your mind in the 3rd round?
Huh?
What was going through your mind in the 3rd round?
I was chilling, cool, calm, collected.
Nothing? Gotcha. Do you still want to be undisputed? Is the goal?
Most definitely, undisputed for sure.
Oh, wait.
Hold on, wait to the mic, yeah.
Hey, Boots, Radio Raheem down in the front. Did I hear you correctly? Because sometimes I can't hear it in the arena. Did you say that you weren't hurt in the 3rd round?
No, I was chilling. You know, I just a little lazy on the inside. Got quoted a good shot, but I was cool. Yeah.
Did you feel like that 3rd round was the toughest round of your fight career thus far?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm cool, calm, and collected. You know, when it's madness going on, I just get calm. You know, and just be patient.
I mean, I ask you these questions because, granted, you know, you stopped him in the 7th. It was a tremendous performance, but from the audience side, it looked like a tough fight. It didn't look easy. It didn't look, you know, like a walkover.
Yeah.
Where do you rate this fight competition-wise?
Solid competition. Xander, a great fighter. Hope he's okay. Yeah, you know, whether he move up to 60 or stay at 54, I think he'll be a champion again.
Once the dust settled and the referee stopped the fight, The boxing world waited for Boots to call out the biggest names at 154 pounds. When a microphone was finally placed in front of him, he delivered exactly that. Looking straight into the camera, Boots called for a showdown with Vergil Ortiz Jr., making it clear he wanted the remaining belts and intended to take over the entire division.
Joe came out and said that he was going to sleep you, so I just want to know your comments on those.
Why he ain't take the fight in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Bro, he be talking, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to tell you, I'm really different. He gonna see firsthand. Cause he gets hurt a lot. He flat-footed and he been dropped multiple times. When he get hit by me, it's gonna be different. I'm trying to tell y'all.
What would you grade your performance?
My performance today, I gotta go back and watch it. I'll probably give myself like a C though. I know I'm way better than that, you know. Like a C plus, you know. I'm way better than that, you know. I was listening to the corner a little bit, not too much, you know. He was telling me to do speed, and I was one shot popping. It's the shots you don't see. I should have been using a little bit more speed, but everything is gonna be good. We're gonna go back to the the lab and get ready, and take over this division. Sharpen up.
Boots refused to take the bait during the post-fight press conference, brushing aside the media's carefully crafted storyline. Even before the fight, comparisons between Boots and Crawford had dominated the conversation. Many believe the media was trying to lure the boxing legend out of retirement for a blockbuster showdown with a newly crowned unified super welterweight champion.
As great as Boots Ennis is, I still don't think he's getting the respect from a lot of hardcore boxing fans. Like, yeah, he looks good, he switches stances. We saw what he did in his last fight, but it was against a no-hoper. This is feels like the moment for Boots. Not only do I think he has to win this fight, I think he needs to dominate and separate himself from Xander Zayas and say, look, this guy's not even on my level. I'm at the Terence Crawford level. That's the level of fighter I am. He has a chance to prove that. He's got to be dominant. He's got to be sensational. And I certainly think he can do it.
To understand why the Crawford story gained momentum, you have to look at Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn. Days before the fight, Hearn openly shared his ideal scenario. He wanted Boots to dominate the undefeated Zayas, capture the unified titles, and use that victory to tempt Terence Crawford out of retirement. Hearn knew convincing a retired legend would not be easy, but he believed his statement performance could create enough buzz to make it happen. Even though Boots ignored that script and called out Vergil Ortiz Jr. instead, Hearn and much of the boxing media kept pushing the Crawford narrative, hoping to build the sport's biggest possible super fight.
So Terence is only going to fight Boots if there's loads of money on the line, because he knows how good Ennis is, and he's not going to fight anymore unless it's for a lot of money. So we have to do what we say. We have to prove the quality of Ennis, and he has to earn his shot against Crawford. But that is the fight that I look at in 9 to 12 months' time, 3 fights down the line. And I think US fight fans are going to be crying out for that fight. Like, you imagine if we beat Lima on Saturday, we beat Ortiz, we beat Fundora or Mertzalayev or Zayas, everyone will be calling for Ennis v Crawford.
I think a lot of fans are crying for that now.
They have been for years.
Yeah.
But the reality is we still need to, it's not, I think everyone who, like I said, everybody that knows boxing.
Yeah, boxing fans.
One that knows how good Ennis is go, me, what a fight. That is unbelievable. But still, you've got to educate people that Ennis is as good as I say he is. Right? And you do that by beating the champion. So we've got work to do.
The storyline only grew when Crawford appeared to take a shot at Boots after the dominant victory. In a post following the fight, he wrote, "I'ma keep my comments to myself, but y'all get it." That brief message immediately sparked debate across the boxing world. Some fans urged Crawford to come out of retirement and finally settle the rivalry with Boots, while others criticized him by pointing to his tough fight with Israel Madrimov at junior middleweight. Many Crawford supporters were also surprised he chose that moment to respond. As for Boots, he has never seemed bothered by the comparisons. Even before the fight, he said he doubted Crawford would return from retirement to face him. But if it ever happened, he made it clear he would be ready. He also rejected the constant comparisons, insisting he has built his own identity and is a different fighter from the boxing legend.
Boots, you were on the show with Gilly, and he mentioned a bunch of names and just said, are they going to be easy work or not? You said easy work to everybody, including Terence Crawford. Obviously he's had comments to Gilly about saying, that he tried to make a fight with you. You were too young at the time. That's what your team said. Do you think any of this talk gets to a point where you get him to come out of retirement and face you?
I ain't care about that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm locked in on Zayas. No asking nothing else about nobody else. Zayas, that's it.
Crawford?
I mean, I don't know. He retired, so he that's what he's doing right now. He retired, he chilling, so we'll see. If he come out, we'll see.
You said you're different than even him or any other fighters, but what is different about Jaron Ennis than a Terence Crawford or anyone else from that matter, but specifically Terence?
I'm just different. Y'all know I'm different. Y'all Y'all gonna see on Saturday. The way I just carry myself, the way I fight, just my skills, my ability, defense, everything. Y'all gonna see. These guys don't do what I do.
During the latest press conference, Boots also shut down questions about Crawford, choosing instead to keep the focus on the Xander Zayas fight. His father and trainer, Ennis, echoed that message, urging everyone to stop comparing the two fighters and let them follow their own paths.
Hearing about Terence Crawford throughout the build-up to this fight, but he did tweet something that definitely seemed like in relation to this fight without saying much, but, given a tweet right after the fight. Any response to Terence Crawford, who had something to say?
Yeah, we ain't worried about what he got to say. He retired. We focus on task and taking over this division. We ain't worried about the retired fighters.
Yeah, y'all keep on throwing Terence up. Terence took you, retired. Leave Terence alone. Let him do what he's supposed to do. Have fun and enjoy his family.
Boots.
Go there.
What made the statement?
All of them. I don't care who makes the statement. I'm just telling you like it is.
Yeah. Boots Bosley, man, congrats. Hell of a fight, hell of a performance, man. Question, were you more shocked that he made it out of that first round assault or that he got up from that perfectly placed, the second knockdown? Were you more shocked that he got up from that or made it out of the first round?
I don't know.
The world wants to know.
The first knockdown, I wasn't trying to really rush it. I knew he a game fighter. He got good fundamentals. He's a solid fighter, and he was a champion for a reason. So you can't just go in there and rush it and try to get the knockout. You gotta be patient, and that's what I did. So, but the second knockdown, I definitely thought he was gone.
While fans argued over the drama, undefeated champion Shakur Stevenson offered a completely different view. Rather than focusing on the viral third-round scare, Stevenson praised the brilliance of Boots' overall performance. Responding to critics who claimed Ennis absorbed too much punishment, he argued that Boots' defense and ring control were on full display throughout the fight. Stevenson even compared Ennis' performance to a vintage Floyd Mayweather masterclass. When one of boxing's most technical fighters describes your display as Mayweather-like, it makes claims that Crawford would have ended Boots' career far less convincing.
And, obviously we're here in Philadelphia, Boots Ennis, and a couple other people, called Boots the natural successor to Terence Crawford, and obviously I know your relationship with him. Do you feel that high on Boots as well, or?
Hell yeah, I think Boots is a hell of a fighter. I don't know about the natural sensation, whatever that is to Terence Crawford, I think Boots is his own fighter, Terence is his own fighter, but I think they both hell of a fighters. I've been around Boots for years, and he's the truth.
Boxing journalist Sean Zittel also weighed in on the Crawford versus Ennis discussion. He revealed that he had long wanted to see Ennis face Terence Crawford. Although Crawford's retirement makes that fight unlikely, Zittel believes it would have been a spectacular matchup, even with Crawford entering as the favorite. He stressed that Ennis' switch-hitting ability, speed, and power always made him a dangerous opponent. Zittel also praised Xander Zayas, calling him a genuine talent and expressing confidence in his future.
That being said, Ennis has always been a special talent. And there was a time him and Benavidez were my favorite fighters to watch in the sport, that I was always banging the drum for them to get the shots against Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. It never happened. Terence threw some shade after the fight, which is, between them. I don't think the fight will ever happen, but I think that fight could have been special once upon a time, even if Crawford was the favorite, deservedly. Ennis's speed and power, being ambidextrous like Crawford,
he was a threat to Crawford and always will be if Crawford's ever thinking of getting back in the ring, especially at this age. But there came a time where Ennis's career was stalling out a little bit. You know, he unifies, he becomes the welterweight champion against Stanionis, but welterweight became thin, and the lightweights moved up once he left, really. The welterweight just wasn't as talent rich as it was. He wasn't getting the big fights for a few different reasons. But now he's not only back in business, his stock is higher than ever. He had a great ring walk with Jadakiss, and the crowd in Brooklyn really loved him and took to him. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans here tonight, but it was really about 50-50, maybe 60-40, you could argue, for Zayas. But he drew a lot of fans in Brooklyn tonight too, who all loved his performance. So he's never been bigger as a draw. He still showed just enough vulnerability to get the other top guys to want to jump in the ring with him. And sure, he'll have to tighten some things up against those guys, but his talent is just undeniable. And
Boots promoter Eddie Hearn also responded to comments from Virgil Ortiz Sr., who said Jaron Boots, Ennis still had to earn a title shot. Hearn pointed out that Ennis is now a unified world champion in his second weight class.
You guys need to do more to earn a fight with him. Do you think tonight was enough?
Yo.
I don't know what he's talking about. He said that.
Listen, no, that was before tonight, right? Yeah. Listen, we don't need to prove nothing. We don't need to chase a fight with Virgil. Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying, listen, we're not getting into that. What I'm saying is, listen, and I said this before Boots come in, we are not going to sit there with full of arrogance like some people would right now and say, tough luck Virgil Ortiz, he's the unified world champion, he's a superstar of the sport, get in line and take your 15% for a voluntary defence. That's what some people would say if they were arrogant. What we say is, we love the big fights, but we took that Virgil Ortiz fight, he signed for that fight, right? We took that fight for no belt. We took it for the fans to prove he was the best. Unfortunately for Virgil Ortiz, the team, everybody, Everett, Sean, we did an unbelievable job to land the unified world championship. And now he's the unified world champion. So, sorry Virgil, in a way, we want to be undisputed. But we don't rule out that fight. It's a big fight. But he's about legacy. As he said, it's the legacy tour.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas also shared his thoughts on Boots after the impressive victory. Following such a dominant performance, Atlas finally gave Jaron Ennis the credit he deserves. He believes Ennis has silenced his critics and proved he belongs among boxing's biggest stars. According to Atlas, the stage is now set for Boots to face the sport's biggest names and show the world why so many consider him boxing's true boogeyman.
Star is born, right? There's that name we've been talking about.
No. I'm going to correct you on this one. He's been a star, but it's been confirmed.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's been confirmed that he should be a star.
Absolutely. That was
he earned
impressive.
it. He earned it.
You said too, he got tested.
Yeah, he
showcased his skills, his
he
speed.
got tested.
He's got the goods.
Yeah.
Now everybody's going to talk about what we mentioned earlier. Is Fedora next? Who's next?
And they can also say they took this fight too soon, which, the seasoning, he wasn't mature enough. But I'll tell you one thing. He fought the worst kind of fight game plan. Showed heart. I applaud him. But behaved like a fighter, like a champion. But that's not, my God almighty.
That's terrible.
Oh,
that's
my
terrible.
God.
That's how you shorten a 23-year-old fighter's career. I mean, you just took a lot of punishment.
We were accurate with the reports every day. We got to pick.
Listen, we've been over 70% at the ropes. You're not going to win all. You won 7 out of the last 8 coming in.
The 154-pound division is officially on fire, and Jaron Ennis is right at the center of it. He stepped into hostile territory, survived the toughest moment of his professional career, and walked away as a unified champion with a boxing world watching. But the biggest victory wasn't just the belts around his waist. It was leaving the entire sport debating a fight that hasn't even been signed. Did Boots deliver the kind of performance that could tempt Terence Crawford out of retirement for one final showdown? Or did that dramatic third round convince the legend to stay away from the division's new king? The answer could reshape boxing's future. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you want to see Crawford and Boots finally meet in the ring? Let us know in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our upcoming uploads. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.